So of course, we linked up with VV Vault. VV my vault, I got my stash in it. We on the moon, it was no accident. I got that on me, I am so passionate. Diamond hands, I ain't settling it. I got that sauce, it's in the cabinet. I got a bag, now I'm too legit. Why they so mad, now that we crypto rich? Look at my vault, it's so extravagant. Copper collectible, triple it, double it, we really got it on smash. Bigger bank, my bag. VV got me doing math. They stir in the lab. Scientists in the dad. I ain't makes no cash. Like a Tesla whip, no gas. Investing since May, and we made it to November. Did a lot of things, only OGs can't remember. Still getting paid flipping FTs in the winter. Yes, I'm feeling wonderful. My vault is up.
What's up, my homies and fellow NFT collectors? It's time for another Vault AMA. We're going to talk about conspiracy theories today. A couple people have already brought up a couple in the chat. What's up, SmartBuy? What's up, Jimmy Hoffo? What's up, Firefly Odyssey? Thanks for hanging out with me. What's up, La Palms? What's up, Greedy One? What's up, True Stoner? I looked up this Teflon conspiracy. We're going to check that out. What's up, Apex? What's up, Dylan? 9/11 was an inside job. That is the truth. I almost did a stream just on 9/11 because I kind of feel like that was an inside job too. I've been keeping my eye on this. I might buy another one before I start looking at these. Reporting for conspiracy theories, like why I have 113 comments and never hit nothing good. I mean, that is a conspiracy theory. That's a long time to not hit anything good. Can I buy one more real quick? I'm trying to buy one more of these for under 120. Hedge my bet. I feel like they might get scooped up and they might start going up in value. Could be wrong. I'm just going to buy one more. And then we're going to look at some conspiracy theories. I did pull up some conspiracy theories that ended up being true. Like there was a bombing of a tanker of some kind of ship during the Vietnam War. The Gulf of Tonkin, I think is what it was called. And everybody said it was conspiracy theory. And then we found out many years later that it was actually America who bombed their own ship in order to have a pretext for war. Let me get that 4-digit for 219. Let's go. 2 4-digit secret rares in the vault. I think that'll work. That's what I needed. Now I'm ready to go. Now I'm ready to go. Now we sniped it up. I do get the Teflon conspiracy thing pulled up. Apparently it has something to do with DuPont. The most evil is Jake Tran. I like Jake Tran a lot. But apparently DuPont is poisoning the world. Let's see if we can find a... Are you talking about the truth about nonstick cookware? I was looking for something a little shorter. 3 minutes and 54 seconds. Or are we talking about the Teflon Megalodon conspiracy? I don't know what that is. I think that's a rapper. You might be talking about how DuPont poisoned the world, most likely. And then somebody talked about the dead cows conspiracy. This must be a new thing, because this is like all 5 days ago. A whole bunch of cattle just died. Now, there's a logical take on it. Apparently, they're saying it had to do with the heat, maybe. Whoa, I don't know if I want to see a bunch of... Let's look at the conspiracy one first. Oh, that's a logical take. 3,000 dead cows. It's a short. Let's check this out. How are we going to do our volume today? Hopefully, I don't blow out y'all's speakers doing it this way. Let me kind of make the volume a little low so it doesn't blow out your... Usually when I do this, the audio this way, people are like, you blew out my speakers. Hopefully this works for you. Let's see. 3,000 cows died over the weekend. Whoa. That's kind of spooky looking. The rancher has no idea why. Now we do have a video that's a logical take for this, so I want to check that out. Of course, Firefly Odyssey brought that out. Firefly Odyssey is a big animal lover, so this definitely did not sit well with him. That's crazy looking. Missing 411. What's that mean? Aurora, Texas UFO crash. We can check that out. How about the one that Biden and the Democratic Party are purposely ruining our country into the ground, running our country into the ground? Give me some examples, and I will look that up for sure. I'm not a huge Biden fan. I like him better than I like Trump, though. I'll say that. An autopsy is pending. Yeah. Let's look at the logical take on it.
James Kaufman will
Is the volume all right for you guys?
Today's June 16th, 2022, just after 4:30 p.m. Central here in the U.S. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world, folks. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Most of my subscribers and viewers all know the story about the cattle dying in Kansas.
It's a little low to me.
Part of our food supply. Now, there have been estimates coming in from 2,000 to 10,000 head of cattle have died.
I think he's basically saying that it's from heat.
Video to show you guys. And then I want to talk about.
And there was a heat wave in Kansas.
That's going on in this area.
Go, Chris. What do you mean by missing 411?
Involved.
Interesting.
And I want to, go over some other facts. Let's first take a look.
Yeah, we've seen all the dead cows.
It's a lot of cattle. Again, we're getting
this
estimates
guy talks
from
as slow as the guy from the January 6 hearings the other day.
To 10,000.
Dude was putting me to sleep.
But this is a yard that they bring cattle before they butcher.
The water Illuminati. Heat is not the reason it says Firefly Odyssey.
Very, very strange. They usually take better care
10,000, that's a
cattle in the butcher yards.
Why would they do that?
With water fountains, lots of water, etc., because that's their livelihood. And here we see nothing but the same thing. Now, the farmers and the people that own this packing plant believe that the heat had nothing to do with it, but I don't see any water containers, not a one. I don't know if they thought they could check on them every 3 days, but they actually need to be out there all day long checking on these cattle with 111 degree temperatures. This is more than a lightning strike because of the girth of the dead cattle. What's amazing is they didn't, they almost all lined up. Really strange. So
wait, so they
no matter
that
where
all
you
together
go,
like that? Got all
it continues here.
That's weird.
Very, very strange. I have never seen anything like it. Now, all the cattle that did pass away were in a feedlot, from my understanding. And
what's a feedlot?
It's just too coincidental.
Maybe they were all packed in too close together, so that added some extra heat.
All just died of the heat when no reports of other animals around the state have come in. Now, let me say that we owned a ranch with about 5,000 acres, and every single time we went there, we would find several dead cows.
They could have some disease that was
heat. This was down
contagious.
in Carrizo Springs, where it would get 110, 115 degrees. But in fact, heat does kill cows. We would always go look and find the dead cows or count the cattle.
I got no explanation for this.
Luckily, that's 100% write-off, right? But it's sad. There was water.
Because, like they said, it didn't happen to any other ranches in the area in Kansas. If it's something that was because of the heat, then you should see it happening all across. Somebody says they were poisoned. Cows don't just die like that. Somebody's responsible for it. Maybe he had a competitor that poisoned all his cows. I don't know. Now, the Teflon, I don't know much about the Teflon conspiracy. And I don't know how long this video is. It's Jake Tran, though. Are we allowed to play Jake Tran videos? I don't know. He's a pretty big YouTuber. I watch his stuff all the time. Even though I'm not subscribed.
So you're DuPont in the late 1930s. You're a chemical company that's been around for more than 100 years. Any company that's existed for that amount of time should have made a name for itself ages ago. But even though you're doing well, you just haven't really popped off yet. That was until 1938, when a doctor accidentally discovers a material called Teflon that's so versatile, so useful, so unbelievable, that it changes the course of DuPont forever.
Man, I need the cliff notes on this one. I don't think I can sit here and watch it for 30 minutes. Teflon conspiracy. How about Teflon conspiracy summarized? Can we get a summary of this conspiracy? 8 minutes. Dark Waters by Mark Ruffalo. I've heard of that Dark Water stuff, but I don't think that has to do with DuPont. DuPont Poisoning the World, a BBC documentary. That's an hour and a half. 12 minutes. How Forever Chemicals Polluted America. So they're saying that DuPont is putting chemicals in the water. The chemicals that the Teflon is made out of. I mean, that sounds legit. I know they put fluoride in the water. Not all countries do that. I want to know what's up with the elephant at the funeral. What's elephant at a funeral? I don't understand. Wild elephants hold buffalo. Elephant kills woman, then returns to her funeral to kill her again. 4 days ago. I don't know if this is a conspiracy, but I'm interested now. What's up, Neon Vibes? You can marry your sister in Kansas. Them cows just died. Ain't no conspiracies in Kansas, says DSO. What's up, Bud Thompson? Oh, I hear you put on 1.5 speed.
Elephant kills woman.
Good move.
And returns to her funeral to attack her corpse.
Really?
What could you have done to have that happen?
I don't know about this one. I don't think that's what Google was talking about, but I like it.
This happened in Odisha, India. It says bizarre animal stories are heard often, but none are quite like the latest.
I don't know about that. That's a little crazy. I want to see this Basie racism. Let's just look at Basie racism. A lot of people have been talking about this recently. This one's only 5 minutes long. Let's
2021 was the year the entire internet was forced to learn about the existence of non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. And no NFT
I already can tell it's an NFT hater, so I don't like them already.
collection drew the fascination, hype, and ridicule of the internet, like the Bored Ape Yacht Club. In May of last year...
Oh, the next conspiracy theory I want to check in. The next conspiracy theory we got to look at is the NFT protest at NFT NYC. Are those real protesters or are they fake? I gotta look
Yuga
at that.
Labs launched the NFT project by minting their first 101 Bored Ape NFTs. The NFTs are algorithmically generated images of apes, each with a unique set of outfits and expressions that gives them varying levels of rarity. While many have bought into the hype, causing the price of the NFTs to soar into the millions, others have mocked the apes as appearing garish and crudely illustrated. Thus far, the highest value ape sold at 769 ETH, around $2.3 million. In September, a collection of 107 apes sold for an astounding $24.3 million. So how did these ape JPEGs become worth so much money? Ownership of a Bored Ape grants people some exclusive rights on the Bored Ape website and some invites to exclusive events, but the real hype around the apes seems centered around their pervasive presence on social media, as Bored Ape buyers have preached the gospel of NFTs on their accounts and are encouraged to make their profile pictures a screenshot of the ape they own. It's not uncommon to find Twitter users with Bored Ape NFTs chatting about the sense of brotherhood they share with one another, and in November, the Bored Ape Yacht Club even got profiled in Rolling Stone. All of this helped make the Bored Ape Yacht Club one of the most prominent NFT projects on social media. Many find the idea of trading NFTs for millions of dollars to make little sense financially, and there have been plenty of stories related to scams, theft, and lost life savings in the crypto realm. The Bored Ape Yacht Club is no exception. Over the course of 2021, Twitter users laughed at the real-time sagas of Bored Ape buyers reporting their apes stolen via simple trickery. On October 30th, Twitter user Calvin Becerra reported 3 of his apes were quote-unquote stolen by hackers posing as buyers. To many, the scam seemed as transparent as an email from a Nigerian prince, and took to dunking on the unfortunate fellow until the official Bored Apes Yacht Club announced the stolen NFTs were worthless until they returned to Calvin's hands. On December 30th, a similar situation unfolded with Twitter user and Bored Ape Yacht Club enthusiast Todd Kramer, who logged onto Twitter that morning to share some devastating news. "I've been hacked," he wrote. "All my apes gone. This just sold. Please help me." The tweet was yet another example of a Bored Ape Yacht Club owner drawing the mockery of the internet for their misfortune and losing their valuable ape JPEGs. And the almost poetic way Kramer explained his misfortune turned the phrase, "all my apes gone," into a meme on Twitter for the following week. Parodies of Kramer's tweet came in the form of song lyrics, clips from Planet of the Apes movies, and quotes of The Simpsons' Planet of the Apes musical parodies. As with Calvin Becerra, Bored Ape Yacht Club again deemed Kramer's stolen NFTs worthless until they returned to his hands. Despite the misfortunes and widespread distaste for NFTs for the non-crypto pilled, the apes have attracted some high-profile buyers, as celebrities Jimmy Fallon, Eminem, and KSI have all purchased a Bored Ape. This isn't to say the Bored Ape Yacht Club isn't without its controversies. At the start of 2022, the Bored Ape Yacht Club again found itself at the top of the trending topics, this time as people alleged that the apes had racist origins. On January 3rd, Twitter user LolDefy held a Twitter space on the Bored Ape Yacht Club. There, artist Ryder Rips, who is also involved with a flipped CryptoPunks community called CryptoFunks, argued that the collection was racist, as apes have long been used as a racist way of depicting black people in American history. Passionate Bored Ape defenders argued that the apes were just apes with no racial implications, but Rips doubled down on Twitter after the talk, pointing out that one of the co-founders of Yuga Labs went by the name Gargamel, alleging that it was an anti-Semitic joke. Furthermore, he argued that the name Yuga was a reference to the Kali Yuga, a Hindu concept that has been connected with far-right nationalist sites like the Daily Stormer in the past. After the controversy, Yuga Labs claimed that their name came from Yuga, a villain in the Legend of Zelda games. Though the controversy drove some Bored Ape owners away from the Yacht Club, it remains to be seen if it will do significant damage to the ongoing fad of ape NFTs flooding social media. For now, the apes are here to stay.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so on that one. I think they're just trying to hate on the apes because they're so successful and they're jealous. That's my answer on that one. I don't like that one. I don't like that conspiracy. They didn't have very much proof just because they're apes. Some people think COVID and 5G are connected. Let's check it out. COVID, let's just look at COVID conspiracy theories in general. From the 5G, that's 2 years ago. 2 years ago, we need some more updated stuff. Let me go to the filters. Let's do stuff from this week. Exposes vaccine trials. 2 hours though, 2.5 hours. How election conspiracies have taken hold. There's a lot of conspiracies there. Ethical challenges related to COVID-19. How about this? Does 5G cause COVID? But of course, if you look it up like that, they're gonna give you a bunch of. They're gonna suggest a bunch to say no. I want to see one that says yes. Fact versus fiction. We don't want fact versus fiction. 5G does not. No, we want to say that it does. I just want to know what the argument is that it does. Who caused Bill Gates.
My assignment
There we
today is
go.
myth busting. So how do I do that? Well, reading the conspiracy theories about COVID-19, I figured
It's
the
Fox
best thing
News,
to
we
do is
never
just
know.
describe them to you. By mid-January, the online conspiracy theorists already latched on to Bill Gates. According to the website
What's up,
BuzzFeed, a
Short?
guy named Jordan Sather Googles coronavirus and finds a 2015 patent for a coronavirus vaccine. He tweets, the assignee of this patent was the Pirbright Institute out of the UK. He said, it was the release of this disease planned? The Pirbright Institute researcher, Dr. Erica Bickerton, is an avian pathologist, a bird doctor. And she said, the work we do focuses on an avian coronavirus that affects chickens. Here's video of another conspiracy theory with nearly 300,000 views since it posted on St. Patrick's Day.
It's really important for people to understand Pizzagate.
Her three-part theory of coronavirus. 1, the media is overhyping it. 2,
I also believe that this virus was created by the cabal, specifically Bill Gates.
and 3, the White Hats, led by President Trump, found out about the conspiracy. They'll use the military to lock down several countries and arrest all of the rich celebrity pedophiles and other criminals. And the theory that's done some serious damage, the idea of 5G towers that make cell phones a million times faster, also caused COVID-19. In England, more than 20 5G cell towers have been burned. The theory originated from a small Belgian newspaper, Het Laatste Nieuws. They interviewed a general practitioner, Dr. Chris van Kerkhoven. The article's headline, 5G is life-threatening and no one knows it. This idea is that 5G towers went up and then coronavirus appeared. If 5G is so fast, it must also emit super powerful and dangerous energy. Could the towers be hurting immunity?
The 5G stuff is kind of dumb, but there is a lot of proof that China was developing these type of viruses in that lab in Wuhan, and a lot of people think that it's more of a natural disease, whereas some people think it was man-made. And I guess there's really no way to know for sure. But I like the point that Jimmy Hoffa made. I know I've heard a lot about this. Food supply chain is being decimated. A lot of people have been talking about that because a lot of food manufacturing plants have been burnt down recently. This is 2 months ago. Let's see what the time is. 12:55. That's not bad. And they have been talking about food shortages, not only in the U.S., though, the food shortages around the world.
Episode 112, we're calling this Destruction of the Chicken Supply, Weaponized Testing. Folks, they're using PCR tests to determine if chickens have bird flu.
Deep.
Ice Age Farmer 2 massive attacks are being perpetrated against food supply bird flu epidemic sweeping out Europe and the United States. Again, fueled by PCR tests, forcing massive population of poultry and backyard flocks. PCR test inventor basically said you cannot use the PCR test to determine illness. Another bit that I found interesting with this whole biosludge, and farms contaminated with PFAS are being shut down as it is finally revealed that the biosludge applied to farms, including organic, was the equivalent of salting the earth to destroy food. The inventor,
All right,
the scientist who invented
that's
PCR test kit was Kerry Mullins. He actually won the Nobel Prize for this. This technology is what they use today to test the so-called coronavirus, said to be the cause of
Talking
disease.
about test kits here.
World Health Organization vaguely and
I don't
inconsistently
really see anything in this.
It's like you
Let's
can
keep
find anything
going.
with a PCR test. It amplifies everything. It just is something that will
So
make you
it's all about the PCR
if you
test.
can
So I don't see how that has anything to do with the food
this
supply
virus in you
chain.
at all,
But I
in
do
PCR,
notice
if you do it
that
well,
a lot of
you can
people
find almost
have
anything in anybody.
connected the destruction of food manufacturing plants. Here we go. Let's find this out.
Now our verified
With
team
food
is looking into
shortages.
claims about fires after several U.S. food processing plants went up in flames in recent months.
WCNC Charlotte's Megan Bragg looks into what we know about the circumstance.
This could be connected with the 10,000 cows that just died in Kansas
Recent fires
unexpectedly.
at food processing plants across the U.S. have several people speculating online if something else is behind them. This tweet notes a, quote, odd coincidence that, quote, 18 U.S. food processing facilities burned down in the last 6 months. The question that we're looking at today, are people setting food processing plants on fire intentionally in order to create a food shortage? Let's verify. Our sources, Sam Gage-Jack, the communications manager for the American Association of Meat Processors, Sarah Little, the vice president of communications for the North American Meat Institute, Tom Super, the senior vice president of communications for the National Chicken Council, fire officials in each case, and the U.S. Department of Agriculture, otherwise known as the USDA. In a statement, Little told us, quote, we are not aware of any concerted effort to set food processing facilities on fire. Super told us, quote, I can only speak for chicken, but like any manufacturing plant industry, there are genuinely a few fires that occur each year across the country.
This seems like cap to me. I mean, it seems like there's a lot more manufacturing plant fires this year than there ever have been before. They're saying there's a few fires that occur each year, but there was 18 this year already.
Most of them are contained rather quickly. Gage-Jack agrees.
We've not seen anything that points to it being suspicious in any way. A lot of them seem to be mechanical failures or just very unfortunate, tragic things that happened, but nothing that was deliberate.
So let's break down the number on what we learned from fire officials. 11 of the fires were either ruled accidental or no foul play was suspected. 6 others are still under investigation. The other one was at a vacant building that once housed a meat plant, but no longer does. Another note, while the tweet mentions 18 fires in 6 months, only 12 of them actually happened in that time frame. According to a report from the USDA, the U.S. has about 36,000 food and beverage processing establishments in operation. Gage-Jack says fires at just 18 plants would not cause a disruption to the food supply.
So these individual fires, I mean, they might be just
So there are a lot of those where ruled accidental, they investigate them. But it has a lot to do with this conspiracy theory as well, as why Bill Gates is buying up U.S. farmland, and all the rich people are buying up the farmland because they expect a food shortage in the future. Might have something to do with the manufacturing plants getting burned down. Might have something to do with the cows dying. Some people are worried about a food shortage, and that the billionaires are going to take advantage of that.
Bezos' land is double the amount, clocking in at 420,000 acres. John Malone, the largest private landowner in America, owns 2.2 million acres all by himself, a landmass slightly smaller than the island of Puerto Rico. America is enormous, yet 100 of the richest and largest private landowners in America own 1.86% of all the land available in the United States, the majority of their land being forests, ranches, and farmland.
Some people like myself find farms beautiful and peaceful and a nice place to live.
Land is only getting more valuable. In the mid-1990s, farmland was valued at less than $1,500 an acre, adjusted for inflation. By 2020, that number had grown to $3,160 an acre.
It's expensive. So if somebody is desiring land, it is primarily people of wealth who can afford it.
Institutional capital is growing and it's becoming a bigger piece of the market.
Land is getting bought up, going up in value.
However, not everyone is benefiting from the rise in farmland prices.
It's going to continue to be harder for farmers, for beginning farmers like myself. If prices continue to go up, everything's going up.
But I don't even know if that's really a conspiracy or just the fact that Project Bluebeam, that sounds like old school. I don't know if that's a conspiracy or just a fact of the economic reality of the world, of the country. The Blue, that's an album. Project Bluebeam. Isn't that an old investigation they did? The CIA MKUltra program? I think that's where they gave people like acid and stuff to investigate what happened to them. Hologram technology, I don't even think that's that's 4 years ago. I was going to say, that used to be in the conspiracy theory realm, but now we even have that on our phones. That all the stems to the population control conspiracies. Well, I must have missed the first part of that. Yeah, Yuvraj, I'm not a big fan of that, thinking that Mr. Biden had something to do with the Ukraine invasion. I would think that it would be more on Trump's side, since he was a big fan of Russia. Gio says, here's a conspiracy theory. All the stuff we see on media promoting TR@NS. And I read that earlier, but I don't know what TR@NS means. Ideology is maybe funded by a big pharma to create lifelong customers to sell their hormone blockers. Oh, so transgender at NS? I'm not sure. Land being bought up by BlackRock. Yeah, BlackRock owns everything now. I don't even know what BlackRock is. That one, I did watch a video on that recently. BlackRock owns a lot, and they're just like some private organization. Bruin says, Bao, we hear that, but the other way around, trying to destroy the world. Yeah, Bao was saying that they heard that possibly America created the COVID-19 virus while they were in China in hopes of using it against China's population. We're all going to be living in apartments soon. I hope not. Land is going up in value because the earth is not making no more of it. That's true. Manson was part of MKUltra. Was he really? I think he was, actually. I think I have heard that before. Is it confirmed, though? Former CIA gives background info on MKUltra and Charles Manson. That's on Joe Rogan. Charles Manson's CIA connections. He did have CIA connections. Wasn't his father in the CIA? Yeah, that whole MKUltra, I mean, that's from a long time ago. They were doing mind experiments. Apparently, Manson was one of the people they were experimenting on. Man, now that I look all this stuff up, every time I open YouTube now, they're going to give me tons of options to look up conspiracy theories. Bluebeam is the holotech from space. They did not kill the project. Bluebeam Hollow. I'm looking for some more recent information about it. Project Bluebeam. I mean, I've heard of that before. Let's check it out. Strange anomaly in the sky. Ooh, that is strange. Moving around like that. I don't see like a spotlight from the Earth going that high up, being that bright. This is just titled Project Bluebeam. I think those spirals a lot of times are actually rockets. That one looks wild. I've never seen that before. A lot of times those are rockets spinning. Then the actual world in chat, I'm guessing. Oh, transgender. Oh, okay. Yeah. So what are you saying about that? Stuff we see on media promoting transgender ideology is maybe funded by big pharma so they can use hormone blockers. I mean, I'm surprised that they allow parents to give hormone blockers to children that are under a certain age, either under age 16 or 15. I guess kids don't know what they're doing about it. I mean, it's still a lot to me. I've seen that one before. I'm pretty sure they proved that that was a rocket fired by Russia. That's the good conspiracy theories right there, Joe Logan. True. You said you were going to NYC NFT? I never said that. Oh, yeah. I want to check those protests, though. Virus created at University of North Carolina, then transported to China. You got any proof of this Firefly Odyssey? Scientist is MIA. Does that sound like a YouTube video? Do you got any proof on that? All right, this is a good one. The NFT NYC protest. Let me know in the chat. Do you think these are real or fake? Do you think this is like viral marketing?
NFTs, not for me! NFTs, not for me!
This is hilarious. Look at some of these signs. Anti-MetaMasker. Vitalik is the Antichrist. You know what I'm saying? Make fiat great again. Listen to Bill Gates. I don't know, man. I think that's Wendy Stabalis. I know she's at NFT NYC. Right here. I think this is Wendy. It looks like her. She is not phased at all. If it is, she is not at all phased by the protest. What do you guys think? My conspiracy theory here is that some NFT project put this together for some viral marketing. What do you guys think? I don't know about that one. I don't know if I'm believing it. We got VV Vision in the chat. Says, greatest conspiracy of all time. Why are 60 people watching but only 18? Like, that's a good point. What's up with that? Are you not enjoying the content? Hormone blockers cost roughly around $450 a shot, and you need a 4-year. Imagine if you convince 1 million people they need them. I mean, you got a point, but that would be hard to research. Documented the funding for research came from NC prior to Wuhan. Wow, okay, so COVID-19 research in North Carolina. Apparently, that's where North Carolina on the raise, North Carolina changing approach. I don't see any info on it. Using research to detect North Carolina's COVID. They're saying it was developed. It was proven that it was developed in North Carolina. I don't see anything backing that up yet. Okay, a deep look into U.S.'s coronavirus lab in North Carolina. Maybe it did get developed here. Fake but great. I know that's what I'm saying. It's gotta be fake. It's funny though. They researched it. Is it saying they developed it though? They're saying it developed.
One of the nation's preeminent research labs is at the University of North Carolina. Is one of the people leading that lab, and who some have dubbed a quote coronavirus hunter of sorts, Professor Ralph Barrick.
I think this is just coronavirus research. I don't think it's.
Our group has been studying coronavirus for about 35 years.
Jimmy Hoffa says documented. Yeah, this is just about the hunter.
The first 20.
They're trying to build him up like he's a superhero. Shout out to the coronavirus hunter. Whenever we get that NFT on the app FA, I will be buying. Let's see, what's it called? New World Order. We got any new New World Order conspiracy videos? I like to go in and look at recent stuff that's gone out. Tupac conspiracy theories after new pictures. We got some new pictures of Tupac popping up. I know people say he's still alive. I'm interested.
What's good? It's Asia Sky from the DX Daily Podcast, and the 1996 murder of Tupac Shakur rocked the hip-hop community at the time. Pac was just 25 at the time of his death, and he was shot down in his prime. But even with that being true, there are many people who refuse to believe that Tupac is actually gone. There have been wild conspiracy theories tossed around for decades, even one with Suge Knight's son claiming that Tupac is alive and living his best life out in Malaysia. There's also been theories that floated around saying that he's somewhere in Cuba. Now, all of these theories came to light again when Tupac started trending on Twitter after some photos of the legend resurfaced looking a little bit too modern. In a slide of tweets collected by The Art of Dialogue, you can see fans becoming suspicious of Tupac's whereabouts. One person wrote, Tupac was a famous rapper for like 4 years and died 25 plus years ago, but somehow they're still releasing new pictures of him no one's ever seen before. Tell me how that's possible if he's not alive. Another person joked, somebody tell Tupac we know he was running away from Jada. Now understand and he can come out. We need more good music. Another person said, Tupac's pictures after his death are fresher than some of ours alive. Now, while the idea of Tupac being alive has floated around for years, an autopsy photo taken of his body shortly after the shooting suggests otherwise. Tupac was riding as a passenger in a car driven by former Death Row Records CEO Suge Knight when a white Cadillac pulled up alongside him at a stoplight on Flamingo Road and opened fire. At least 12 shots were fired, 4 of which struck Tupac. After undergoing emergency surgery at University Medical Center,
that picture didn't look that new to me.
improving, but on September 13th, 1996, he succumbed to his wounds 6 days
You're probably
after
right,
the initial
Resnick.
incident. What do you think of these former?
Resnick makes a good point here. There are several videos, and I even know the name of the videos that I used to see like 8 to 10 years ago that were like really good proof of particular conspiracies. One of them is an alien that was caught in Brazil. Not caught, but was captured on video in Brazil, and they even investigated it. And the video is like really, really convincing, and then it disappeared, and it's gone forever. Another one was, there's a couple of them. There's another one that was, it was like this lady on Fox News, and when she blinked, you could see like a separate set of eyes. It was spooky, and it was not edited at all because they were taking a video of their own TV. So I knew it was completely legit, and that disappeared too. So I mean, some of this stuff does disappear off of YouTube, and you wonder why. The New World Order is always an interesting one because there's probably some truth to that. I mean, we do have NATO, and I kind of think the New World Order is kind of not a bad idea, personally. Into the secret world of the Freemasons, but I don't see any updated information. Uh-oh, what's this? On CNN 12 days ago.
The city of Amarillo, Texas is asking folks to guess, what is this thing?
What is it?
The image was captured last month at 1:25 a.m. by a camera set up inside the Amarillo Zoo, looking out for...
What? Looks like Sonic the Hedgehog or something.
Is it a person with a strange hat who likes to walk at night? City officials asked in a
Chupacabra?
tweet, referring to it as a UAO.
The unidentified Amarillo object.
Wow.
Let the guesses begin from Fantastic Mr. Fox
I don't want to live in a hole anymore.
to Rocket Raccoon from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah.
The camera is motion activated and sends an alert to zoo officials when it captures something. There were some serious theories.
A raccoon standing on its hind legs, or potentially a person walking through the park that
It
just
could be a
happened to get
raccoon. It's
captured
too
in
tall for that. You can
a
tell by
peculiar
that.
way.
I told you it was
Guesses
Sonic.
were
I
more
told you.
colorful, from Sonic the Hedgehog to the San
I knew
Antonio
it.
Spurs coyote mascot.
It's not a bad idea.
Someone tweeted the movie Dog Soldiers called and want their werewolf back. Another poster
Ew.
wondered, is this guy on the loose? Of course, there were references to Bigfoot, though someone thought Littlefoot might be more appropriate. There is no video,
Yeah, it is pretty
just this
small.
image. One poster went all out to illustrate his theory it was a coyote jumping the fence, diagrammed with anatomy like ears, tail, etc. Noted, if nothing else, all these guesses could leave folks
Ooh, Rocket
howling.
Raccoon, that's another one. Firefly says she's already showed me, or he or she already showed me that creature before. I don't remember seeing that.
At
That was wild looking.
Booking.com,
That's
we
brand
don't-
new too, from like 5 days ago. All right, we got a couple things to look up in the chat. The Russian zombie army attack. I don't think I've heard of that. Russian zombie army attack. Attack of the Dead Men. Russia's zombie army caught on night vision camera. Let me see. What is this? I was trying to give me nightmares. Somebody created that. Alright, let's look into it a little more. I'm interested. I'm skeptical, but I'm interested. What's up, Kobe Clay? Go for one late night walk in Amarillo and people can't let it go.
This video is sponsored by
you,
Magellan TV.
Kobe, all along?
In the summer of
What's up,
1914,
Cameron?
German top brass ordered a full frontal
About to
assault on a
find
Soviet
out.
fortress located in northeastern Poland. Germany saw Russia as a significant threat to their rising power, and the Soviet fortress remained one of their main obstacles to their advancement into Russian territory.
Wait, if this happened in World War I, then how do they have that nighttime footage, that infrared footage of it? I'm starting to be more and more skeptical.
3 times the Germans tried to gain control of the fortress, and 3 times they failed. The 4th time, though, was different.
Because they had zombies.
Germany sent no less than 14 battalions of infantry, sappers, siege guns, and artillery for the last attack on the fortification. However, unlike previous assaults on the fortress, they had a new weapon that would make all the difference: chlorine gas. The Russians had only 1,000 men defending the fort, and less than half of them were conscripted militiamen.
Okay, I hear you, Doctor.
At 4 o'clock on August 4th, a dark green cloud of a chlorine and bromine mixture floated towards the Russians positioned at the fort's front. When the gas combined with the water in the air and their lungs, the substance turned the chlorine into hydrochloric acid, and the Russians began to dissolve from the inside out.
Ew.
Because the soldiers had either no mask or only a rudimentary version of one, the comrades had little to no protection when the fumes arrived at the fort.
So they were just tore up. That's
When
all
the Germans
that
triumphantly
was.
strutted over to the defense barrier and began to march toward the inner fortifications, they were met by a gruesome sight that would haunt their dreams forever.
Well,
Instead of
this isn't
surrendering to
what
the
we saw a
assault,
minute
the agonizing
ago,
Russians
but
decided to counterattack
things
and fight for their
tear
country until their very last breaths. And thus ensued a terrible, gory battle, where roughly 100 Russians charged the 7,000 German soldiers with their bayonets. The Germans turned and ran away, terrified at the horde of melted-faced, zombie-like men charging through the darkness and attacking mercilessly.
So basically, they got caught into this chemical, and their skin started melting, so they just looked like zombies whenever they attacked. That'd be scary though if you saw them coming at you during a war, for sure. Let's see what else we got. Who in here believes that aliens the CIA told us about? I mean, after the USS Nimitz thing, I feel like I'm pretty believing when it comes to UFOs. That's not the right way to phrase it, but I've been saying I'm at like 85% that I believe that UFOs are extraterrestrial, at least some of them. Oh, there's another one. Oh, I can't remember what it's called. Ugh, I'll never find it. There's this one from like way back when computers first happened, and there was like this teacher who was a computer teacher, and they let him take his computer home, and then his computer started talking to him, and it was like really well documented, and it's like a long time ago. But have you guys noticed? Let me pull this up. China claims contact with extraterrestrials. This just happened recently. China claims contact with this is 6 days ago. No, this is from that old movie. Did you ever see the video of people burning snow? Yes, I have, Gritty One. I have seen that before. That's kind of weird, but I think that's proven though. I can prove why that happens. Because it evaporates straight to gas. It doesn't go to the liquid stage when you burn it. It gets so hot that it goes straight to gas.
Reaching out to mankind through music. That's right, guys. A new report out in China could be bringing us closer to that becoming a reality and answering that age-old question: are we alone in the universe?
Is that the dude from TRL Lab? That's the dude from TRL Lab. Maybe not. It looks like
it's using the world's largest radio telescope. Wow. Researchers picked up what they are saying possible signs of life beyond Earth in the form of mysterious electromagnetic signals. They did not rule out possible radio interference. They said it was unlike anything they'd seen before.
When it comes to, of course, we were telling you earlier this week, NASA's looking into the possibility of extraterrestrial civilizations after it launched an investigation to UFOs just last week. Are we alone in the universe?
No, absolutely not.
No,
I don't think they're little green men.
Ned, the voices are fast right now because I have it on 1.5 speed, so we'll be able to get through more content.
But I hope not.
These people talk slow.
So what do you think?
I don't know.
I think they're just avoiding us.
Yeah.
Did you see that 60 Minutes where all
when the
fighter pilot said they saw something that was weird? That's when I was in.
Yeah.
Like I said, that was
all Hollywood says. You might be right.
Very naive to think that we're.
Yeah, of course.
Right? Why don't we do what they do in Close Encounters? Why don't we get the world's biggest speaker and point it towards the galaxies and play like the.
My conspiracy theory is this the guy from TRL Live?
Beyonce's Harry Styles, as it was, really loud in the galaxy.
I forget his name. Yeah, he was. See, I told you. Carson Daly. Yeah, that's it. It was Carson Daly.
I was so meteorological living.
He let himself go a little bit. That's all right. He was a young man back then. Carson Daly. That was the best part of that whole video. Yeah, so China does claim that they have made contact with extraterrestrials. I spelled China wrong, didn't I? But that's all they said, so we don't really know. But if so, I mean, I think it seems legit. They got a big enough. You saw the satellite they're using. It's big enough to reach out there. I guess the biggest conspiracy was Carson Daly. I couldn't remember his name. I'm not big on the whole Loch Ness conspiracy, but when I was a kid, that was my biggest one. I used to study those. I think I even did a report like in middle school on how it had to be true, but I don't believe it anymore. I gotta be honest. They talked me out of believing the whole Loch Ness conspiracy. I don't think there is a dinosaur in Loch Ness.
I've done in my life has been in service of that.
But you still got me on UFOs. I'm with the UFO conspiracy. I think there's something happening there.
She's Scottish. She's giant.
I won't get into it though. But if we look at the actual pictures,
once and for all.
I haven't seen that one
around
before.
Loch Ness is relatively recent, however. Before the 20th century, the mystery existed only as a local legend.
There's a couple pictures that are pretty good though. Like they put some cameras underwater. This is the big one. I always like that one. Now what they figured out was apparently this is a sea otter jumping into the water, and this is their tail as they're going into the water. But I feel like there's a little bit of mass right here too, so I don't know.
This picture too has been declared hoax. Reportedly made using
China going to attack Taiwan? Probably.
While there have been a lot of purported
They'll blame it on Biden. What's up, Tino Tenda? We're checking out some conspiracy theories.
Usual weather conditions or pranks. Since the 1930s, Loch Ness's murky waters have been investigated extensively by amateurs and professionals alike. Sonar investigations have picked up various anomalies, but remain inconclusive. In 2018, an international team performed a DNA survey of the loch that aims to create a profile of all life in the water, including the monster.
We got Nessie on the app.
So,
FA.
what is the Loch Ness monster?
Nessie is often depicted as a plesiosaur,
she's called Nelly on the prehistoric marine reptiles. One popular theory hypothesizes that Loch Ness is home to a small population of plesiosaurs that somehow survived the extinction event that killed off the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I give up on that conspiracy theory. You guys got any other good ones to look at? There are some cool pictures, like if you look at this snake that they pictured.
Nobody ever
that they
sees
photographed
themselves playing
in
that
the
role.
50s is huge. Night Guard 333. Let's check it out.
FX's The Old Man. All new Thursdays on FX.
Is that a YouTube channel? Apparently it is.
This is the Navigator.
Uh-oh, this guy's got some good stuff. I can tell already. He's deep. Vampires of Scotland and a group of hunters. 3,000 cows. He's talking about the cows mysteriously dying. Bill Cooper. What if I told you 95%? I want to see what this is.
Earth's oceans are vast, covering 75% of her surface. According to mainstream science and popular belief, they've gone 95% undiscovered. But what if I told you it's in fact the exact opposite? That in reality, all but 5% has pretty much been mapped to a T.
Okay. Glitch in the Matrix or a shapeshifter. Let's check this one out. You guys might want to check out this guy's video channel. He got a lot of cool stuff. What? The dog just changed? Watch the dog. So it like changed. Can I go back? There's the dog. It kind of disappears. I think that's just an optical illusion. It jumped behind her. It like jumped behind her. Yeah, he's just in the shadow. He talked about the werewolf though.
Alright, y'all. This is what us believers have been waiting
I like
for.
this channel.
Finally, actual photo evidence
Sirens?
that went mainstream. And for all you doubters and haters out there, take a good long look. The video was recorded on May 22nd at the Amarillo Zoo. They just now, probably 6 to 7 days ago, released this photo. Local authorities in Amarillo are asking for the public's help in identifying...
It's hard though, because if you say siren, they're going to tell you an actual siren. Okay, here's 5 sirens caught on tape. Let's see if we believe any of these. Let's see if any of these.
In this clip, it shows 2 men standing on top of a high cliff, showing what appears to be a strange humanoid figure on the rocks below them. Before the humanoid figure was able to swim away, one of the guys quickly films the creature.
It's a seal, man. What is that? Oh my God! What is that? Did you just tell me you got that? What is that? What? That is not a seal.
A man by the name of Paul Jones from the United Kingdom claims to have made a chilling discovery. During his visit at Great Yarmouth, he discovered a dried up dead mermaid washed up on shore.
It's got a skull. I don't know, man. There's some crazy stuff in the ocean. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some stuff like this, honestly. There's pretty good proof here. I mean, what, did somebody actually just make that and put it on the beach? I guess
this strange video begins with 2 individuals in hazard suits walking towards a lake.
What?
One of them walks into the water and drags out what appears to be a dead mermaid.
What? Yeah, I don't know about this. Is this performance art? What's happening here?
According to the British Royal Coast Guard, during a nightly training exercise, 2 men have gone on record and have even admitted that on their route to their coordinates, they mistook an animal for a man overboard. And here's what they captured.
They approached what they believed to be a man overboard, and when they realized it wasn't a person but an animal, it appears curiosity took over, and they completely abandoned protocol.
That's not very clear. I don't get nothing out of that, but that's a crazy story though. They saw somebody, they thought it was a man overboard.
During an underwater exploration mission for the Discovery Channel, 2 men were exploring the depths of the ocean. While sightseeing, they ended up stumbling upon a human fish-like hand that quickly touches the submarine's window before swimming away.
I've seen this one before. Let me see that slow motion replay, please. That's just a hand, but it's a spooky hand. I don't know. I'm thinking, yeah, that seems pretty legit to me.
On the rocks below them. Before the humanoid figure was able to swim away, one of the guys quickly films the creature.
It's a seal, man.
I don't think it's a seal. I don't think it is either.
What is that? Oh my God! What is that?
I don't know, man. That's kind of spooky. That was a little too spooky for me. I've heard of the Kandahar giant that killed troops in Iraq. It's just apparently this like 9 foot, 10 foot tall person who has red hair, and you can actually find out a little bit of information. So as you can see, I think I've searched this before about the fact that it has some history, like the family of these giants has a little bit of history in the area. Let's see what the actual U.S. military personnel says about it. If they actually talk about it. Still 5 pending. You're kidding me, Eric. Are you serious?
The ultimate cause of why civilians were injured and killed is because the Taliban knowingly, willfully chose to occupy homes of these people in the area. They are the ones without any regard for the civilians. It's a common tenet of international law that people have a right to protect themselves. When our forces are fired on, we will defend ourselves.
They're just talking about the city of Kandahar. My bad. That's not the right one. Special forces attacked by unidentified creature. That's the only video on it. I think I've seen that video before, but that's the only video on it, so that's not a good sign.
After 3 years of intense military training, I had become a Navy SEAL, joined my first SEAL team, which was SEAL Team 2 in Virginia, and I had joined my platoon.
Good point, smart guy, because they're all
They've
old.
gone through all this additional training at the team to prepare for deployment, and here I was 3 years to the day, almost exactly, from when I went to boot camp, getting ready to deploy as a Navy SEAL to Afghanistan. But none of that training would prepare me for how intense my first couple of weeks in Afghanistan would be. So the flight to Afghanistan is pretty routine until you enter Afghanistan airspace.
All right, bro, we don't want to hear your whole travel
They turn the
blog.
lights to red, and he looks over at it. He doesn't have time to react to it.
I did hear
So they
this
start
story,
moving towards
though,
the
but I
mouth
think
of
this
the
is the only
caves,
video
and
on
they
it.
realized, without even getting very close, that even though the mouth of these caves are pretty large, and everybody could go into the cave.
What about this one, though? This is some
The
wild
Joe Rogan
stuff.
experience.
This is the story of the children in Zimbabwe that
in 1997 when I was just
all
naive
say
enough
they
to think
saw
I could
you. I
interview
mean, it's
Steven
kids,
Spielberg.
too, so
We had a mutual friend involved.
kind of feel like
and she gets back
a group
to me,
of
she's like,
kids
yeah,
aren't going to make up a story like that and all agree on the story and then go stick to the story unless it actually happened.
in Africa at the school. And I said to myself at the time, and remind you guys that I was making a film on UFOs, and I dismissed it so quickly because I thought, there's no way that a mass landing with the sheer volume of eyewitness testimony at a school in broad daylight could happen and the whole world not know about it. So I just walked away from that story for about 10 years. 10 years later, I'm doing an event at the National Press Club with Leslie Kane, who was part of the article in the New York Times that came out in 2017. And she introduced me to this guy, Randall Nickerson. And she's like, oh, he's working on this landing case in Africa. Long story short, he's working on a film now. I think it's coming out next year, specifically on
So Tina, you probably heard about this.
Dan Farrow is producing it. And he said, I'm working on the case, and if you want to do something with me on it, a small piece, I could. So I got back into it. I licensed some of the footage that Dr. John Mack, the Harvard psychiatrist that came and interviewed the school children on camera within a week of it happening. He unfortunately looked the wrong way in London, got run down by a car and died. So I contacted the Institute with the help of Randall Nickerson. I licensed the archival footage. We tracked down the witnesses today. We flew them in from all different corners of the world, brought them together. A lot of them were standing right next to each other. They came face to face, and one of the things I realized was that there were roughly 100 kids in the playground, broad daylight, aerial school, Ruwa, Zimbabwe, 1994, and they got within arms, some of them within arm's length of these beings, and brought these
100 kids in broad daylight got within arm's length of a UFO that landed. I mean, that's kind of... I mean, we don't have any video evidence, though. I don't know.
Together for the first time in 20
What do you
years.
think?
And a lot of them hadn't even told their significant others, just because they said they were tired of having to defend this. And I myself didn't believe it when I first heard about it back in 1997. And that segment of the film is the most, in my opinion, is the most powerful segment because
it's very compelling.
You've got all these children saying what they saw on camera after it happened, and then you see them 20 years later, and then we go to Africa and we meet with the headmistress, or she was a teacher at the time.
20 years later, they all still stick to it,
too.
too.
Talk to people at the school. That case is absolutely, and it was witnessed by lots of other people in and around the area for several days before it chose a school to land.
It's so compelling because the children are all clearly, they're not actors, so as they're adults later, they're all talking about this moment, and it's like they had a religious experience together. Like they're all sharing it and talking about it, and you can tell it's like it's a deeply moving experience. If they were actors, they wouldn't have been able to do such a good job because to convey the reality of that moment to them, to be able to have this interpretation of this event where they're all consistent in the story and they're all clearly still shook by this moment. It's really interesting because if you had that scene in a movie, it would take like a really good actor to pull it off, and they'd probably need multiple takes. They'd probably want to get the best one. But those kids, the way they were talking about it, and the way they were drawing it, you're like, wow, it really does seem like something happened to them.
I know how credible that the testimony of the children is because my partner Rebecca, she's never had much of an interest in what I do, making documentaries on UFOs. I do other things as well, but when I was reviewing in the studio the archival interview of the children, she just dropped off a cup of coffee and she stopped and went, "Oh my God, those children are not lying. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen."
Pictures,
look, I ask your audience
too.
Don't take it from me. Just suspend judgment for a moment.
I can't picture
and
nonstop.
Imagine, hypothetically, if
no,
a UFO or several UFOs.
That's a pretty compelling story too. I like this verse from the Bible that Raphael quoted, where he says that I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out of the mouth of the dragon and out of the mouth of the beast and out of the mouth of the false prophet, which could be a UFO sighting that was back in biblical times. And yeah, the Denver airport is wild. Let me see if we got any information on it. There's got to be something going on with that. I don't know. Is it an Illuminati thing? Is it an alien thing? The scariest mystery behind the Denver airport. I want to see all of them though. Like they have that crazy horse too. Let's see what they say about it real quick.
#trending. Tech stock soar 10%.
At Finance 40, Market falls, investors take a bath.
#crypto.
The world is full of financial noise. Trade online with expert research, ratings, and powerful screeners to help you find the right investments. JP Morgan Wealth Management.
The cat's here.
This video was made possible by Wix. If you're ready to create a website, head over to wix.com/go/infographics to try out one of their premium plans right now.
And they made it for
Denver
no
International
reason.
Airport, or
Already
DEN Airport, is shrouded in secrecy, riddled with weird statues and creepy art, and is a place of strange stories and myths. People even questioned why Den Airport was built in the first place. The current airport opened in 1995, but there was a fully functioning one closer to downtown. This new version is twice the size of Manhattan, and the development went $2 billion over budget. But even before the current Denver International Airport opened, it was the subject of countless conspiracy theories. Is there any truth behind the rumors? That's what we intend to get to the bottom of in this episode of the Infographics Show. A cursed airport? The Denver Airport. A quick Google search on Den Airport brings back numerous stories from both mainstream media and independent conspiracy sites, so something's clearly going on. Before we get into the conspiracy stories, let's first take a tour of the inside of this creepy, gigantic building. It's famous for its terrifying 32-foot tall statue of a giant horse with fiery, glowing eyes. The Denver locals call him Blucifer, according to media outlet Slate. But even freakier is the odd story of the red-eyed statue called Blue Mustang that killed its sculptor Luis Jimenez. It fell on him and severed an artery. And inside the airport, there are more disturbing art pieces, including a mural of a devil jumping out of a suitcase and a statue of Anubis, the ancient Egyptian god of death. Some of the more controversial art pieces have now been removed, including a character that resembled a Nazi officer in a gas mask, children in front of a burning building, and kids gathered around a knife. Not the usual style you'd expect from an airport terminal building. So what about the conspiracy theories that surround Den Airport? One that's talked about a lot is the shape of the runways. An aerial view of the runways at the airport shows that they resemble the shape of a swastika, and this is not a typical formation for an airport's runways. The explanation from an airport representative is that the runways are designed that way so that they can be used simultaneously regardless of the weather patterns. She told the UK newspaper The Telegraph, "We think the shape looks like a pinwheel." But in the same Telegraph article, it was also pointed out that New York's JFK and the Las Vegas and Miami airports all have very different layouts, so this certainly gives us something to think about. There are also dedication markers and plaques around the airport with some rather odd symbolism on them that looks like the Masonic Square. This has led to other conspiracies claiming that construction of the new airport was funded by the New World Airport Commission. However, when you search for that name, it seems to come up only in connection with Den Airport, which has led others to draw the conclusion that the airport is actually funded by the Nazi group, the New World Order. The date of the airport's dedication also happens to be March 19th, 1994. If you add those numbers together, 191994, you get 33. This is the highest level one can achieve in Freemasonry, which represents perfection, and that Masonic Square also links to the Illuminati group, of course. So the book is out on this one. New World Order, Freemasonry, Illuminati, or just a coincidence? We wanted to find out the root of this conspiracy, and it seems the theory of the airport being the Illuminati headquarters gained ground when it was covered on Jesse Ventura's woke TV show Conspiracy Theory in 2010. It gained so much ground, in fact, that many of the mainstream news outlets have investigated the theory, and in 2016 the airport CEO, Kim Day, had to make a statement in response to it. She said, "Whether it's because of our impressive size, expansive infrastructure, or robust public art program, Denver International Airport has long heard the rumors, innuendo, and internet chatter about being the center of conspiracies, from the absurd to the entertaining." She also announced that the airport will be dedicating the month of October to embracing that strangeness and sharing in the fun. The month-long celebration included all sorts of odd conspiracy activities, such as conspiracy art tours, conspiracy theories uncovered art exhibition, and even a conspiracy costume party. Can there be any more strange rumors about this conspiracy-ridden airport facility? Well, actually...
Jeez, thanks a lot, Kat. The plot thickens. I was going to stop it, but now the plot's thickening. Let's go a little bit further.
Yes, the plot thickens. There are also a number of theories about what lies beneath the airport. According to BuzzFeed, a former airport construction worker claims 5 multi-story buildings were built underneath the airport. This, he said, was the reason the airport was so far behind schedule. He also said that there was a complex network of tunnels beneath the airport.
Dude, there's something going on with that airport for sure. Honestly, I suppose it's a good time to mention underground tunnels, and I don't know what DUMBs are, but I've definitely heard a lot about underground tunnels. I want to comment on Matt Mars up here. Do I believe Bush did 9/11 theories? Excuse me, guys. I think it was more, what's the Cheney? I think it would be more Cheney than Bush. I think Bush was just Cheney's lapdog. And the thing about that, the main thing that gets me on this is that whenever they decided that they would testify in Congress about 9/11, they would only do it if they could testify together, Bush and Cheney, and they would only do it if there was no recordings whatsoever and that nobody ever heard anything that was said there. Why were they so adamant that nobody could ever hear what was said in that meeting or in those, I guess they were interviews. Of course, we all know the initial reaction of Bush, where he just sat there whenever it first started.
Zero cars?
I don't know.
One of the most seismic moments in American history was unfolding.
I would say Cheney might be involved.
Was in the
I would
most
be surprised
unlikely of
about
settings.
that.
Moments before entering that
Really?
Florida classroom.
Underground
We'd been told
tunnels
a
in
small
Century
plane
City,
hit the
Los
first
Angeles.
The president, the principal, and I all had the
Gotcha.
same reaction. Oh, what a horrible accident. The pilot must have had a heart attack or something.
For his chief of staff, the picture soon changed.
Captain Lauer came back up to me and said, oh my God, another plane hit the yellow tower at the World Trade Center. And I knew that this was not a coincidence. It wasn't an accident. And so I decided to pass on 2 facts and make 1 editorial comment to the president and to do nothing to invite a dialogue with him. I thought about what I would say. I opened the door to the room, came in, That's when I walked up to the president and I leaned over and I whispered.
I don't see that this is any proof that he was involved. He didn't know what to do.
America is under attack. And I looked at the president. I could still see him facing
looking at the
forward,
secret space program,
his head
Corey
bobbing up and
Good.
down.
Let me know if you guys can hear me talking. Am I still good?
He accepted when he took the oath of
Hello,
office.
hello? Yeah, I
I'd
think
like
it's
to say
working.
that's when he became the president. And I was very impressed that he did nothing to introduce fear to those
Secret.
second graders.
My kid's still
He
asleep,
did
so I don't
nothing to
mind
demonstrate
going a little
fear to the
longer.
media that would have satisfied.
Secret space program, secret space UFO. I think secret space program is probably going to pull up a lot of different things. We lied about Space Force. We lied to you about Space Force. Interesting. That's Steve Carell. Uncovering Africa's hidden space program, one of the worst 100 ideas of the century. I'm not sure what you mean by that one. Why did my message about the Black Knight satellite disappear? You already know why, because you're not supposed to be talking about that. I saw a good thumbnail about the Black Knight satellite. This one's a good one, honestly. Let's see how long this is. 8:24. That's pretty. See if we can pull up the pictures of it. The pictures they've made of this Black Knight satellite make you wonder what's going on. And when it first appeared,
While we're by now well
scientists were even saying we don't know what that is.
on our home planet Earth, there's still so
Let
much
me
we
get to
don't
some
know about
pictures.
space, and especially about what's circling closest to our world. Most down here on the ground, and especially with ufologists and UFO hunters. In this vein, one of the more significant space photos was taken in 1998 during the STS-88 mission on the International Space Station. At first glance, it's perhaps
Corey
just
Good.
one photo
Okay.
among many,
Or David
but there's a
Wilcox.
growing backstory to this image, because it's believed by some to show
This is
the
the Black
infamous
Knight satellite. This is
the Black Knight satellite has a seemingly long
some
history.
type of debris
said to
that's
date
out
back
in
more than
space. It's been in
100
space
years
for
to
years.
1899, when the esteemed physicist Nikola Tesla was famously staging experiments with radio.
Dang, I know it's
During
been
one of
that
those
long.
experiments, he reportedly heard a strange transmission echoing back from space. Modern scholars tend to now attribute it to a category of object that was unknown at the time, pulsars, or to it being a transmission from Earth that Tesla wrongly suspected was coming from space. Others, however, believe that what Tesla really experienced was a type of first contact with intelligent extraterrestrial beings via a nearby artificial probe. There's a general idea then that such a probe exists around Earth, the Black Knight satellite, and that Tesla accidentally discovered it all those years ago. Before then, though, it's suggested that it may have gone unnoticed for literally thousands of years, with some versions of the legend claiming that the Black Knight first entered Earth's atmosphere some 13,000 years ago. It's really multiple strange instances that have led to the formation of the wider Black Knight theory, though.
Yeah, the JFK assassination is a very interesting one for sure. There was definitely like the umbrella guy and the babushka lady. There were some weird people that were on the grassy knoll that day that disappeared. What do you mean about CERN? Is that the plant in Switzerland? My belief that conspiracy theories are caused by illusionary patterns, perceptions, just like Secret Reargate. I don't know, man. You can't argue with the Secret Reargate, the stats, the numbers. What's that one? STS, I want to say 92. There's one really good one that NASA took a video of. Maybe it's, see, I can't remember the numbers. STS something. STS UFO. Let's look it up that way. I think this is the one. Yeah. So you're going to see something come across the screen here. You're going to see a flash, and then it's going to take off. So for anything to do that, it's got to change direction like that. It has to have some type of control. It's got to be under control or something. I don't know if this is the right one. I think it is. Okay, no, this is a good one too. I think this is, let me make sure. This is where you're going to have, this is STS-80. You're going to have a bunch of, you see this one coming into view here. You're going to have a bunch of circles. And what's wild about this is at the very end, they all line up like perfectly to make a complete circle, and the one in the middle lights up. Like, what's going on here? You can start to see them forming. You see another one right here, and at the end they're all going to be one exact circle, and the one in the middle is going to light up. Speed it up a little bit. See how they're forming a complete circle, and then the one in the middle lights up? This is a wild one too. This was captured by NASA. Multi-dimensional portal? Nah, I don't know about that one. Eddie Bravo's. How can they find 10,000 dinosaur bones but somehow can't find two slave ships? Well, I would think wood would evaporate in water. Not evaporate, but break down. Who will rule the world in the future? Hopefully the U.S. I mean, that's a good one, but there's still a better one, though. And I know there's the tether experiments, which I'm not a big believer in that one. If we can find this one.
For all the unconventional ways your team stays productive, we've
Used to
got
have them all
furniture to
memorized.
position them for
I met
success.
Dr. Oliver
Because
Stone,
at Office
super
Depot
interesting.
Office
We
Max,
learned about
our
JFK
business
assassination
is to
school as a
keep
topic
business
in our
going.
history
Buy
class.
online, pick
Super,
up in
yeah,
store,
very
or
interesting
get
case.
free next business day shipping.
Tony, black people are here already? Well, black people were first. Life began in Africa, so yeah. I don't know if this is the right one. Oh, I think it is. Approaching Earth. Nope, this is a different one. I don't know what this one is. What made it interesting was the camera cut off when the UFO seemed to stop. Yeah, whatever. Not very interesting. Not the one I'm looking for. I'm gonna find it. STS 80 something. Ugh. Yeah, of course it disappears. The one that's like the most, the one that's the best proof. This is another one that's a good one.
Opportune Southern Happy Friday. What's lurking?
This is from Russia.
In the sky. Here's a really interesting story. A Russian cosmonaut who was from a UFO in orbit. I want to show you the video he posted. This happened when he was filming the Aurora Borealis. He was doing a time lapse. Just into the time lapse, there's a few objects that appear. We're going to freeze it for you so you can get a good look at it. Five
what could
objects
that
appear flying
possibly
alongside
be?
each other
It's not a
with
satellite.
the same distance in between them.
Well, I guess it
The
could be a
cosmonaut in question
satellite.
tweeted, quote, "What do you think these are? Meteorites, satellites, or ...
It's gonna be a
He
meteor.
suggested they may have been, quote,
They
space
wouldn't be lined
yes.
up like that.
Whatever they were obviously arranged in a clear.
You know what's another talk about is food warfare. The government and FDA allow such harmful chemicals to kill us and cause cancer. All those hundreds of food companies. Yeah, I mean, there's some fact to that for sure.
Scientists think they found a hangover cure. I'm dead serious. A group of
The
Finnish
hangover cure. That's the real conspiracy theory. I guess I'm not. Is it ST848? I think is what it's called. Let's see if that's the right one. Nope. ST848 UFO? STS UFO. I'm probably not going to be able to find it. Oh well. There's one where you can see it going over the curvature of the Earth. You see a flash, and then you see it change direction. Chris, what was STS-48? But, of course, they're going to scrub that one since it's such good proof. They're going to be like, we don't want people to see that. We're going to get rid of that. I'm going to look a little bit further, see if I find it. Nope. That's not it. I bet I can... Oh, I know where I can find it. I can find it in my own old YouTube channel. That's where I can find it. Alright. Boom. This is it. This is my... See, that I used that one that we were just looking at where they had 5 in a circle as 3 of the best UFO videos. But this, I don't have the one that I wanted on here. Here's a few of them that I thought were really interesting. Look at this one, the first one. This one might be, I guess, photoshopped. What's cool about it is how the 5th one flies in here to complete the circle. It's kind of just like that circle we saw up in space. I thought that one was really interesting. And then this one right here could be a drone. This was before drones, though. I mean, I made this over 10 years ago, back in 2011. It's got a little strobing light there. Like I said, that's before drones. But it's not the STS one I wanted to show you, so if I see it, I might not have a video on it. Let's see if this one has it. There's some good UFO videos here, too. I don't know about the soundtrack, though. Spider goats. I don't know about spider goats are. Pangea. Pangea is what the world used to be before it broke up into different continents. Given that it was a time lapse, it could have been anything. The theory is empty, says Ned. Decent guy, just seemed busy. I work in videography, and in time lapse you can get a lot of bogus things. Okay, so I had a lot to do with the time lapse. Goats that have spider webbing as milk and made it into body armor is real spider goats? What? The SD video you're looking for has been heavily scrubbed off of YouTube. What's up with that, Doc? I mean, that was like my favorite one. I think it was SDS-48. I'm pretty sure that's what it was called. And yeah, it feels like it's been scrubbed off of YouTube. I can't find it anywhere now. That's wild. Yeah, that's the one I just showed a minute ago. This one's kind of crazy, but I don't think it's real. But there are some good ones that I have caught that I don't see anywhere else. Reported by Yahoo News. Yeah, that one was really recent for the time that I did the video. I guess we don't have that STS in here. There's some good... Alright, let's check this one out. Tell me how fake this one, if this is fake or not. What is the documentary Nipsey Hussle was working on before he died about Sebi? The Nick Cannon said he would finish it. They blackballed him and now it's crickets. Ooh, I want to look that up. Is this the one? I guess I missed it. You guys probably saw it though. It looked kind of fake though. Now this one looks pretty real. Some people are saying maybe this is just an object falling from the sky because it never really looks like it's flying. It looks more like it's just falling. But I don't know what the object is. Is it Nipsey? Nipsey Hussle documentary Sebi? Dr. Sebi's daughter and grandson discuss his legacy. Nick Cannon drops the trailer of Nipsey Hussle. Okay, so he's already dropped a trailer. That was 2 years ago, though. And it still hasn't dropped. Kryptonia is saying they're trying to scrub that on purpose. Is this, I don't know what Sebi is. Dr. Sebi? Is this conspiracy, is it conspiratorial? Few Camino, very little food left.
This is the Rumor Report with Angela Yee on The Breakfast Club.
So Nick Cannon has released a trailer for Strong Enemies, The Untold Case of Dr. Sebi. It's a documentary that he had worked on after Nipsey Hussle had been working on it for all those years. And Nipsey had actually talked about it on The Breakfast Club back in February of 2018. And here's what that trailer looks like.
Imagine this. Anybody in this room, if I can say, hey, somebody cured AIDS, I'll be like, yeah, right. Man, it ain't been 24 hours. We got to pick up the baton and run it across the world. Look at all these tweets. We need to watch over and protect Nick if he's going to take over when Nipsey left off.
He offered cures for incurable diseases. He offered hope and life to those
Cures for incurable
diseases.
diseases.
It's the same thing they do with everything else. They will figure out a way for you to live.
Salute to Nick Cannon, man. Dropping the clues bomb for Nick Cannon. I feel like he did it right with the trailer. He got my...
I do kind of think that a lot of, he says he cured AIDS and proved it in court. Oh my goodness. I feel like a lot of cures, they try to keep those from the public so that they can keep prescribing medicine for those diseases and making money off of them. So I want to see he proved it in court. I want to see that part. I need to look that up.
Mr. G, who had like 2 years of footage on Sebi. Nick actually went to Honduras.
Smart Boss says some of his comments are not showing on my screen. You can see right here what shows up for me. So yeah, if your comments aren't showing, I don't know. That might be a conspiracy theory in itself. Do we got some YouTube people watching over us, being careful what you guys say to me because they don't want us looking up certain conspiracy theories right now?
Because nobody talks about conspiracies like those two. I respect it. Say what you want about Nick Cannon, but he is absolutely for the culture. Nothing whitewashed about him. He may be a whack rapper, but that has nothing to do with who and what that brother is and what he stands for. Nothing but respect for Nick Cannon. Yeah, I love the fact he did that.
Now, another thing there's a lot of conspiracy theories about, of course.
I gotta see this. Dr. Sebi cured AIDS. It's a whole documentary. It's only 40 minutes. Miracle Man cured of AIDS. The Untold Case of Dr. Sebi, 3 minutes. Let's check this out.
Anybody in this room, if I can say, hey, somebody cured AIDS, I'll be like, yeah, right. Man, it ain't been 24 hours. We got to pick up the baton and run it across the world. Look at all these tweets. We need to watch over and protect Nick if he's going to take over when Nipsey left off.
He offered cures for incurable diseases. He offered hope and life to those about to die. What they will do with AIDS is the same thing they do with everything else. They will figure out a way for you to live.
This is how the healthcare hustle works. We bring you in, you're sick, we start you on treatment protocols that are many times more toxic than what we're treating you for.
It's just mind-numbing to see how we can allow people like this to come among us, poison us, and then live comfortable lives.
He's an immigrant from Honduras who never went to school, college, or medical school. Yet the man known as Dr. Sebi claims...
So he never went to school, college, or medical school, but he claimed AIDS. I gotta say, I'm a little skeptical now.
...to have found a cure for several life-threatening diseases, including AIDS. Too good to be true? Well, you be the judge.
He made black people question the information that they were getting from their very own.
Most importantly, they didn't let this documentary ever get made. That's a big sign right there.
Medical doctors.
We have been misled not only by the foreigners that are not part of our race, but we were also hoodwinked by our brothers that was trained by those people.
Dr. Sebi did not have to go through university systems once he realized that the knowledge was all around him, that he was walking over medicine.
All right, so we're here at TASO, the AIDS support organization in Uganda, trying to get some answers.
When I told my mama that I had cured my 13 AIDS patient, she said, they're gonna get you.
Today, a Brooklyn man who masqueraded as a doctor has been arrested by the state attorney general.
Can you cure AIDS?
I have cured AIDS many times, sir, and I can cure AIDS again and again.
AIDS has been cured by the Usha Herbal Research.
Is Magic Johnson still alive? I don't know. This is starting to seem legit.
Institute.
So if Sebi or the Usha Research Institute cure AIDS, who cure AIDS? The black race or Sebi? It is the black race.
Dr. Sebi had brought so many levels of healing to our community. He, like many other could have for surely been a target of powers that be.
There is a group of people who do not want everyone to be here.
We have cures for a lot of things, but that's not what keeps America going.
Let me look up proof. I want to see some proof. Cured people with AIDS, part 2. Don't fall for these hoaxes about Nipsey Hussle. 3 minutes. I don't see any proof though. I need proof. Let's see what the debunkers say.
A conspiracy theory ran wild after rapper Nipsey Hussle was shot and killed.
Maybe he was shot and killed because he was working on a documentary about Dr. Sebi.
And I take his products for sure.
Here's why the internet fell for it and why you shouldn't.
About to find out.
Hey guys, welcome to Trackback. So there's a crazy conspiracy that Nipsey Hussle was killed by mysterious forces because he was working on a documentary about a quack celebrity healer. If you don't know him, Nipsey was a huge deal, and his death hit the hip-hop community hard and got responses from the likes of Childish Gambino, Rihanna, even Barack Obama. So far, Los Angeles police have arrested Eric Holder as the main suspect in Hussle's death. Police said it was a personal matter between Holder and Nipsey. The LAPD confirmed to BuzzFeed News that they've not found any evidence linking Hussle's death to the documentary or Dr. Sebi. Despite that, there is still this popular theory that
I hear you, Firefly fan. You can't prove something. That's why it's called a conspiracy theory. But I want to see the proof that he was in federal court and he proved that he had cured people with AIDS.
Hussle's death was connected to Dr. Sebi and the big pharma industry.
And
Alfredo Bowman, who called himself Dr. Sebi, rose to prominence in 1988 when he took out ads in New York newspapers claiming to have cured AIDS. There's no evidence that he'd actually done this. Bowman was not a licensed doctor.
Where's the evidence?
And he didn't even believe in proven scientific facts like germ theory. Instead, he promoted holistic healing to his celebrity clients who paid him thousands of dollars. His clients included Michael Jackson, Lisa Left Eye Lopez, John Travolta, and Eddie Murphy. Now, Bowman's claims landed him in court a couple of times. And in 1987, he was charged for practicing medicine without a license. But a jury found him not guilty for one reason. They were not convinced that Bowman was making diagnoses. That verdict led people to falsely believe that Bowman had proven his case in court. In 2016, Dr. Sebi was arrested in Honduras and Bowman had proven his case in court. Not convinced that Bowman was making diagnoses. That verdict led people to falsely believe that Bowman had proven his case.
Okay, so he did win a court
in 2016,
case,
Dr. Sebi was arrested in Honduras on money
it was.
laundering charges. He died in police custody.
Died in police
pneumonia
custody? That's not good. Yikes. Yikes. That's her at Dr. Sebi's village. Man, I don't know. I like this. I feel like it makes sense that they would try to get rid of him. And they discredited Nick Cannon because he wanted to finish the documentary. The rebuttal was not very good. I don't know. It seems legit. I was alive and in New York. I remember the evidence is the fact he beat the federal case. Yeah. There are those in the community who possess info, but they will never divulge. Oh, that's not good. Divulge your info. According to Admiral, maybe Bird, there's an entrance to the center of the Earth and the poles. We were looking at the last conspiracy theory stream. We actually saw that area that's supposed to be a portal to the underworld, and where somebody put their iPhone into the water and could hear screaming voices, which was wild. He brought 60 people that he cured of AIDS and cancer to court and won. But what was the actual case? Let's see this.
So I understood that the state were unprepared to defend itself. They were unprepared because in the past there was 2,781 cases that came before the Supreme Court and lost. I won. Not only did I prove scientifically, but I had the diagnostic sheets, and I do have them today. And those diagnostic sheets didn't come from me. They came from their school, their American medical accredited school.
Did I read it correctly, where there was some requirement for you to actually bring patients, a patient into court from each of those maladies, and that you brought multiple patients in court who, one, testified themselves, and that you had medical records, one showing that they were victims of the disease, and then showing that it had been cured by one doctor, and then a second doctor verifying what the first doctor had said?
Yes. We have to remember this, that whenever you make a statement that goes against the grain, you better be prepared. You better be prepared. The judge said that I had to bring one of every patient that I had cured, and there was one that said others. The other was a man that came from Italy. He was paralyzed. But I was supposed to take 9. I took 77.
You took 77 patients in court with you?
That's correct.
Bro, he pretty much proved it. 77 patients. Other doctors verified the work. He was in a federal court and proved it, won the case, and then they killed him so he wouldn't tell anybody else about it. Man, I mean, that seems like a legit conspiracy theory right there. I don't think G Money is even a member. G Money is a member. Is that a conspiracy theory? That's Garrett. G Money is Garrett. Same person. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. What's up, Dennis Rodman? Missed your stream earlier. Didn't know you were into conspiracy theories. Yeah, we've been checking out some cool conspiracy theories that people are bringing up in the chat. Some of them, I mean, most of them I was like, on, but this last one, the Dr. Sebi conspiracy theory is legit. There's G-Money right there. This last one is, I mean, that one's got me. I feel like that's legit. I feel like he probably did come up with a way to cure AIDS, and they didn't like that. They proved that it was true, so they got rid of him. Straight up. Tony says he is the truth. A lot of people also agree with this one. Yeah, that one kind of shook me right there. That's legit. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me with the Vault AMA today. We're going to be doing a live stream tomorrow for the drop. We're going to have Kobe Collects on the live stream hanging out with us, going for the drop as well. So if you're online for tomorrow's drop, make sure you come by the live stream and hang out with us. We'll be going for Secret Rare Gate. I'm going to go and check the Secret Rare Gate challenge to see how many people got their second Secret Rare today. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Later, homies.